How customers buy is going under a radical transformation. Gatekeepers, advertising strategies, and consumer behaviors are evolving at a rapid clip, not to mention the influence of AI, which is not the focus of today's video, but is certainly contributing to the speed and pace and changes that we are seeing happening in today's environment. But you need to make sure that you understand what is happening and where things are going if you want to either start a brand or continue to be successful in this ever-evolving world of e-commerce and online business. So let's not wait another moment. Let's dive into things. Social selling isn't new, but it's taking an interesting turn in recent months. A year ago, every platform was jealously guarding their data and their brands and their customers, and nobody wanted to play nice. It was very us versus them. Now, it's still us versus them, but we're in more of a frenemies stage now. In other words, now we're seeing that marketplaces and social platforms are understanding that they cannot simply exist in a silo, that customer experiences are multi-channel, and they need to find ways of being able to meet customers where they are and give customers what they want. And so in today's video, we're going to be talking about a few interesting partnerships and platforms and opportunities that are signaling to us this next stage of social selling that you need to understand, not only for advertising reasons, but also in terms of influencer partnerships, content creators, your own branded content, and really being clear about what the lay of the land looks like. Now, for a little bit of context, I started my e-commerce marketing agency, Marketing by Emma, in 2016. So I've been in this space a long time. I have been watching how the e-commerce world has evolved, and I am now tracking this in real time because it has such significant impact on the future and fate of each individual brand, for better and for worse. So the first partnerships that I would like to talk about are Buy with Prime and TikTok and Shopify. So Buy with Prime is an offer that is available to Amazon merchants that they can use to fulfill and deliver on the Amazon Prime promises across multi-channels. So now you can enable Buy with Prime in your Shopify store. And there is also an interesting new partnership with TikTok ads, and both of these are allowing for the trust and reliability that people have come to expect with Prime, with that membership that allows for 2-day shipping, free returns, and also that trust. So if you are on TikTok and you see a product and it's from a brand that you're not familiar with, but you see Buy with Prime, you are going to feel more confident in making that purchase. Similarly, on a website, if you have that option. So some of the interesting stats that are worth covering: 3 out of 4 Buy with Prime orders on merchant sites were from new shoppers on average, meaning that customers that were unfamiliar with the brand were more likely to be choosing Buy with Prime. It's quite possible that those customers would have not bought on that site had they not had the reassurance, convenience, speed, and trust that comes along with that Buy with Prime button. Merchants experience on average a 16% revenue increase per visitor with Buy with Prime. But I've even seen some articles from Amazon that have shown increases shopper conversion by 25% on average. We're talking about a really significant impact, and my gut judgment, this is not based on data, but this is just what I would assume, is that those numbers may be skewed even higher for newer or less familiar brands, where that sense of trust that a customer gets from the Buy with Prime option gives that certainty and that confidence to make the purchase that they perhaps would not otherwise make. So pretty soon, the Buy with Prime details are going to be visible in TikTok shop ads for those that choose to use them, and be able to display delivery times, which that is directly addressing a big pain point that customers have when buying on TikTok shop, is the uncertainty of how long it may take for an item to be received. So being able to know that they can confidently receive that item within a couple of days, I imagine is going to make those ads far more effective, especially if the customer no longer has to go somewhere else to make that purchasing decision. These are massive partnerships, but it's not just about the details of these partnerships. My intention is not to go into all the details of this today. My intention is really to look at the trends of what's happening so that you can understand the impact that this is having, where things are going, and how you need to strategize to make sure that your business is really not just taking advantage of these opportunities, but thinking and preparing for how this may impact the choices that you're making in 2025 and beyond. So this is really interesting because for so long, the conversation was Amazon versus Shopify, Amazon versus TikTok. And now what we're seeing is that, okay, there may still be a versus. Like I said, this is kind of a frenemies situation, but they recognize, okay, TikTok is having a massive impact and biting a huge chunk out of the e-commerce pie. So if you want to be able to continue to grow and build and maintain supremacy, then you may need to strike up a partnership and recognize that there could still be some synergistic opportunities in spite of the fact that they are still ultimately going head to head. And this is with the understanding of how customers are making purchasing decisions, what may be sticky points for those customers, and all of the things that go into the customer experience to make sure that they are really primed. I promise I was not intending to make a pun there, but it just flew. And then I realized it and I was like, well, gotta emphasize that. Oh, I tickle myself. Anyway, where was I? I distracted myself with my hilarious sense of humor. They're understanding consumer behavior and the reality of what's happening. And so if that's the case, then they need to be where the customers are. And it's worth maybe sharing a little bit of that data for the long-term benefits of what you're able to do and grow. And the same goes for them. If you would like me to go deeper into any of these topics, let me know in the comments, because really each one of these items could be a whole series of videos, but I wanted to make sure that we get a sense of where we're going. And then if you'd like to see a deeper dive, let me know. So another really interesting e-commerce development is the Shopify and YouTube partnership. So YouTube has seemed like it's really been lagging behind when it comes to all of this social selling. We've just seen this explosion of TikTok, and they have their shorts, but it hasn't really gained the momentum that it has on other platforms, and there has not been that shopping functionality. Except now there is. So with the Shopify and YouTube partnership, now brands can not only link to their items and their content and their ads, but they can also put their items into their affiliate program so that creators can tag the product. So this is influencing advertising, branded content, and affiliate and content collaboration partnership. So this is a strong signal that YouTube hasn't just been sitting back and jealously watching TikTok's success, that they have been hard at work thinking about what they can do to be a real player in the social selling game. And one of YouTube's advantages is they have that longer form video. So it's not just a singular product that you're promoting in a video, but you could promote many items, which has been what creators have been doing across many categories for a very long time. But in the past, they needed to be creating separate affiliate links that link out. And so now we're seeing something that is very different and much more, well, it is, and is integrated into the whole shopping experience. So what's happening both with this TikTok shop and with Shopify and YouTube and all of these elements is they are reducing customer friction. They are not wanting to make customers have extra reasons to click or to have to go to another site. They want to make it as easy and seamless for customers to see something they like and to buy it. Now, the third item that I want to talk about, I need to give credit to somebody that I love and follow on LinkedIn named Joanna Williams. She is brilliant, and if you are interested in social selling, you need to follow her. I will include a link to her LinkedIn below. She uses data to really just present very compelling insights and information about how the world of retail and e-commerce and content creators and all of the things are changing rapidly. And she made a really interesting observation about Meta AI that I was completely oblivious to, which is that Meta AI is set to be the most used AI assistant by the end of the year, by the end of 2024. Meta knows how to monetize, and if it's going to be a tool that knows so much about us and people are going to want to monetize, what can we anticipate is coming down the pipeline? There's obviously going to be opportunities here for selling within the Meta AI universe. So from her perspective, Meta AI is really the sleeping giant that is set to disrupt things in a massive way. And what she was talking about in this recent LinkedIn post is that TikTok was a disruptor, but there are a lot of issues with TikTok, and it's not making quite as big of an impact as was originally projected and anticipated. Its numbers are much lower than what they projected for the year in terms of total sales. Obviously, they're still mind-bogglingly high, but we also have to remember that a lot of that is subsidized by TikTok right now, and that those are not necessarily sustainable deals and programs that they're going to be able to offer to brands indefinitely. So TikTok is really the one that heralded in the social selling phenomenon, but Meta has been quietly working on developing this AI assistant that is going to be primed and ready to go and equally disruptive, a very different but still aligned way, which is friction reduction, which is meeting customers where they are, which is being able to pair customers with items that they never knew they needed, but they're so perfect for them. So what Joanna is predicting is that Meta AI is positioning itself to be monetizing in the not too distant future, perhaps less of the social selling side, but still an opportunity of the future of e-commerce and where things are going. So what we have seen with all of these different partnerships and what's happening in the e-commerce space is there's still a lot of battle that's going on. There are still a lot of us versus them elements that are at play in this battle for supremacy amidst this changing AI, social selling, consumer behavior environment. And that if you want to be successful as an e-commerce brand, you need to make sure to be where your customers are, to minimize the friction so that it is as seamless as possible for customers to buy, that you give as many signals of trust as possible, that you are not limiting yourself to one singular platform, that you are really thinking about all the places that you could or need to be in order to capture those sales. And I anticipate that this is just the beginning, that we're going to be seeing even more and more of this. You also need to make sure, in addition to thinking about where to be and how to minimize all of that friction, in this diversified shopping environment, you must be fine-tuned to convert every possible opportunity to make sure that your competitors don't snatch up your customers or they get bored and go elsewhere. And in order to do that, I have put together a masterclass about how to create high converting product pages on Shopify or on your own website, which I will link right here. I strongly suggest that you go ahead and click over and watch that video. It has so many needle moving tips and tricks that you must have if you want to stay competitive in this world. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Bye.